Hi people, welcome to Wilco Whites. I'm Sean. Just apologise, I've not done any video or any content for the past few weeks. I have had actually other things on my mind, career decisions to make and things like that. So I've totally cut myself off from YouTube to make some important decisions. But that's all sorted now. So back doing it. So please like and maybe consider subscribing if you could. Getting to 700 subscribers would be fantastic, and appreciate that if you would. So straight into it. Dominic Calvert Lewin, this guy here, signing for Leeds United by the looks of it. Medical looks like he's probably in today or maybe yesterday. Would you probably just waiting for the announcement to come out? 28-year-old striker from Everton, and now I'm not going to go too much into detail. We all know who he is. Listen, I said probably videos ago when we was linked, no for me. Probably the same as Callum Wilson. You know, the injury issues he's had over the years has blighted his career slightly. No doubt he's a good player. You know, what is it, 11 caps for England. He has done well at Everton. You know, he's scored some important goals. Not been prolific in these past few seasons. You could put that down to a number of issues. You know, the managers that they've had, like Sean Dyche, it's probably not suited him. But this guy, he has got ability. Find straight away, you think it's not available. It's never available. He is. The hamstring issue is a big one for me. He has had struggled with his hamstrings throughout his career. The other sort of injuries he's had, you know, fractured cheekbone, things like that, you can't do anything about. It's not his fault that. It's the hamstring issues, and he was out a while last season with the hamstring issue. And would that be a recurring thing, or has he got over it? And you know, as much as obviously the medical sort of will point these issues out, I don't know. It's now he's going to be in the building. Now he's going to be at the club. I'm pulling towards, yeah, it's a good signing. It's a free transfer. Wages wise, I think it was like 100 grand a week at Everton. He's probably not going to get that. You're looking more around 80,000 a week for Dominic Calvert Lewin. He's got ability. He's a good striker when fit. Now, okay, we'll Bamford. We're getting rid of Bamford, and don't compare him to Bamford, please. He's a better striker than Patrick Bamford. He's only 28-year-old as well. I thought he were a bit older than that, but he's only 28-year-old. He is a Premier League striker, and he's got that experience that we're crying out for. He's strong. He's great with his head. He holds up the ball. He's great off the shoulder. He's an all-rounder. He's the sort of striker that I want at this club. Yes, okay, we would have liked, you know, a more proven striker maybe in, say, goals, finishing ability. But as a complete package, this guy's got it all. And I'm trying to, you know, I'm convincing myself. But when a player signs for Leeds, you've got to look more in depth to what you just first hear. And like I said, as soon as I heard, same as all you, well, no, he's always injured. He's always injured. If we can keep him fit, which I think, you know, with the medical team we have, we can. It's great. It's not ideal, and I know I keep going back to it. It's not great. We shouldn't be signing these players which is a risk, and it is a bit of a risk. We did it with Bornau. He's, you know, obviously got injury issues. Sam Byram although we seem to be able to manage Sam Byram last season, especially when we played a lot of games. We won't be playing as many games this season. Solomon came in. There was injury risk with Solomon. We managed to get him sorted. He did pick up an injury, but it worked out well. This for me is done because we do need another striker in. Now, I don't think this is the last striker we get in. And my reasoning is, I think Daniel Farke wants 4. It would make sense. It does like Pirro to actually drop a little bit, sometimes into that 10 role now and again. Nemecha can also play off the left or in that, or he can also drop into that 10, which would leave Justin Calvert-Lewin. The fact, Daniel Farke was disappointed Matteo Joseph wanted to leave, suggests he wanted him around the club. So with that, and we wanted another striker even when Joseph was here. So for me, I think we still go out and sign another striker. So don't be too disheartened about this. I have said I'd rather him be with us than say at Burnley or Sunderland, who apparently turned down. Yorkshire boy wants to come to us. Goal scoring, again, he's not prolific. He does miss chances. Again, comparison to Bamford, but please don't, because he is better than Bamford. And if Bamford were that good, why is no Premier League teams coming in for him? All I've seen is Middlesbrough. He's one of his former clubs. So, I think we're also linked to Scum with Calvert-Lewin. The fact, Premier League clubs were looking at him. Everton wanted to keep him. They offered him a new contract to turn it down. It just didn't work out for him. Now, his best time came when Ancelotti was at Everton. And I have not looked into this. Yes, I've watched other YouTube channels and I'm going off what they're saying as well. He thrived when he played in teams that got the ball to the line and crossed it. Fullbacks overlapping and getting that ball in. That's what we do. That's what we do. We've got Bogle, we've got Goodmanson, we've got people who can, get that ball put in. And the Calvert-Lewin's going to be there to hopefully nod it home, to finish them chances. Yes, we do need more flair, up there in the final third. We're looking at El Canouse, who creates chances no end. He's got a great delivery. If we could get somebody like him, then Calvert-Lewin, for me, is going to thrive off that. And again, I'll go back. You can see out the pattern of where it declined. You got Sean Dyche, who, we know about his football. And I think that impacted Calvert-Lewin. He comes up with some important goals. He has done for Everton. You could actually say, he's kept him up at times. He scores important goals, and that's what we're going to need this season. You could say this guy probably get 10, 12 goals easy. But we do need more. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this, and I'm hoping if he stays fit and he proves a lot of people wrong, it's a fresh start, which some players just need, and it's free. So I'm okay with this one. I really am. I'm going to move on to another guy who we're being linked with, but I'm going to go a bit more into depth with it because I'm split. And this is this guy, Noah Okafor, AC Milan. 25-year-old Swiss, predominantly left winger, but he can play striker or right wing. Now, I've read an article, and this is what I do. I will show you the article. I will go through. It didn't make for good reading, and it's made me feel a bit underwhelmed about this, if it's true. And and then I'll just show you some stats on him as well. So Noah Okafor, so just 1 goal in 17 AC Milan outings during the first half of last season. That then led him to go on loan to Napoli, where he played just 4 times and started none of them. Just 595 minutes of action overall. That meant he only earned a return of 1 goal and 2 assists. That's not great, is it? 6 goals and 3 assists the season before, came with 15 more games under the belt, but indicated potential. There are some encouraging metrics, such as his 24 main stage Champions League appearances. Albeit his last goal in the competition came 3 years ago at former club RB Salzburg, which we will get into. And while a 53.8% of last season's shots were accurate, more on target than not, only a total of 14 were fired in, and he finished with a minus XG of minus 0.5. Not prolific. One notable fact is that the 25-year-old has not completed a full 90 minutes for his club since March 2024 and has done so only 11 times in the past 4 seasons, including just twice since moving to Milan in his 24 caps for Switzerland. He's never started or completed a full game, that's for the international side, which isn't too bad. I'm not too bothered about that. While that is not necessarily a reason to swerve a pursuit, given that attacking players are more likely to be taken off, and given Leeds do have left-wing options, it shows a lack of trust from managers, and the end product produced with time on the pitch is meagre. An average of 2.4 scoring chances created per game is a moderate, and last season's 38% take-on success rate is not excitable. Persistent injury setbacks are also a red flag, with at least 6 significant instances in the last 2 seasons. The attacker is versatile, but is not proven, and that has got to be a top criteria consideration for Leeds. Not good reading, is it? But I wanted to look myself at his stats, and when you do actually look at them, he ain't too bad. This time at AC Milan, okay. 22 games on the left, 2 goals, 2 assists. 15 as a centre forward, 2 goals, 1 assist. Right wing, 2 games, 1 goal. Now, I just don't think it's not worked out, obviously, for him at AC Milan. The time, obviously, he went to Napoli, won the league with them, although it, again, didn't really do much. Couple of appearances, not good. If you go back a few seasons, RB Salzburg. Now, this is where obviously he shined. He's moved then to AC Milan. Now, 60 games, 23 goals, 15 assists as a centre forward. Great. That's good stats for anyone there. Right wing, 13 games, 5 goals, 3 assists. Left wing, 10 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. He does prefer to play off that left wing, but if you do look at his career stats, I think he's been more effective as a centre forward. 26 goals, 16 assists as a centre forward throughout his career. That does also include some, his youth games as well. Going at Basel before he got his move to Salzburg. But left wing, 86 games, 19 goals, 9 assists. Not bad. They're not bad stats when you look at it. Now, we talk about injuries. Now, this is concerning. Why are we looking at players who've got a lot of injuries history? I'm not too sure. Are we trying to, is this getting the guy in on the cheap? 24, 25. He missed quite a few games. Okay, 7 games, calf muscle tear. Muscle fatigue while we're at Napoli, missed 2 games. Odd game there, lumbago, whatever that is, fever, another muscular problem, an unknown injury. Kept him out for 6 games. Hamstring muscle injury. Do we need another one of those? With obviously Calvert Lewin coming in, do we need another player? Muscle fatigue again. head injury back in 23, 24. You know, again, he can't do nothing about that. Metatarsal fracture, can't know about that. Missed 8 games there. Toothache. Missed 3 games with toothache. Toe injury, 3 games. Not good. Yeah, that isn't good for me. It's silly little niggly injuries, and again, availability is key, and we need players who are going to be available, not just going to drop out for this and that. No doubt, obviously, he's highly rated, but there is better out there, and I think we're just looking at him. I don't think he's top of the list. If I can see that, 49ers are going to see it. You know, we've just signed, or we are look like we're going to sign, obviously, Calvert-Lewin, who's got massive injury issues. Got Nemecha, who's also had his problems, you know, injury-wise. You know, I understand because of the injuries, you're probably going to get these players either for free or on a cheaper deal. But it's not something we can play about with. We can't have too many of them in the squad, which is concerning. So a Noah Okafor for me is a no. I think there's better players out there. You know, if we've got the money still to spend, and I still believe we will spend some money on a better player, we need that top quality. And Noah Okafor is not the one for me. I'd rather us go spend 30, 40 million. Well, it'll be 40 million. Am I kidding myself? 20, 30 million on a better player. But it's hard, and it is hard for us getting players in at this minute. And it's because of the pull factor. I think it's the fact we're a newly promoted club. Pajau didn't really want to come. He wanted Champions League with Marseille, and he got that move. Moon is the same for me. It looks like he's going to Atalanta. No doubt we have got the money. We can match other clubs, you know, financially, or certain clubs. I'm not saying top 6, but you know, players we're looking at is exciting. It's just trying to get it over the line. And with time running out now in the transfer window, I just don't want to just be, oh, well, we're just going to have to go for a Noah Okafor then, you know, because there's nobody else. Is he any better? Is Noah Okafor any better than a Jack Harrison? Is he? At least Jack Harrison's available. And some of you won't like me saying that, but that's how I feel. So I think it just excites people that he's from AC Milan. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying, looking at the stats and, you know, his injury history ain't good. It ain't good. But again, if Okafor were to come into Leeds as a striker or a left wing option, I'll still support it. I'll get back. I'll get behind him. And it's another option, I suppose. But it's not the sort of option I would go for. I'd like to stay away from these players who probably have declined slightly in the career, and maybe we need to get players in who are playing well. You know, they're actually doing well. You know, there is players out there which Premier League team now, and I've just said, you know, the pull. Maybe because we're just, you know, newly promoted team. Well, not maybe. It's because we're a newly promoted team. Players are going to have, you know, the reservations about coming to Leeds United, but Premier League as a whole is a pull, and it's whether that, you know, the players we're trying to get in or we are looking at want to come and, you know, be part of that project. Again, I said before, I don't mind if players want to come and use us as a stepping stone, as long as they try and keep, you know, the helpers stay up this season. That's the main one for me. We've built from the back. I'm happy with the defence. I'm happy with the midfield. It's just the final third now. We need another striker in. You know, again, Pirro, Nemecha, and, you know, it looks like DCL. Still good options. but not prolific. I'll repeat. Like everybody else repeated, we can get a fit Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 25, 30 games this season. He's going to score goals. So that's what we need. But again, it's always a risk with injury-prone players. So that's it for me. That's my take on Okafor, my take on DCL. If you've liked what you've heard, please consider subscribing and, pushing towards 700. That would be great. And I will speak to you soon. Hopefully, I'm going to do an Everton review, preview. Actually, we haven't done it for a long time. Everton preview. Because game's Monday, and I'm excited for Monday. I really am. Late night Leeds on Friday as well, over on Imagine Not Being Leeds. Matty and Adam, I always look forward to that. So I'll be on there tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Please come over and join us there. So thanks for watching, and I will speak to you soon. Cheers.